Hello, this is Debbie Jansen with Honest Information for Powerful Lives. Now today we're going to be talking about parenting again because in the world everything starts with parenting. And I'm so proud of you if you've had a child, if you're trying to raise that child to be an asset not only for your family, but also for your community and for the world. You have a wonderful job. You can change everything in 20 years or less just with what you do with your child and how you prepare them for the future. Now, there are millions of parenting books out there, and we'll talk about some of them, and I have some of my own that are coming out. But there is one cornerstone thing that if you cannot do this, you're going to have a hard time parenting. If you cannot take these three things that I'm telling you about today and use them in your parenting, your kid's going to have a hard time. Your family's going to have a hard time. You are always going to be responding to what happens, not preparing for what happens. Now, what I mean by that is a lot of parents, they only do this. So the kid comes up with a problem and they're right here. It's all right here. None of it is for the future. And parenting, when it's good, you are always looking toward the future. You're training your child how to be better, not only now, how to make your family and your home comfortable and calm and fun right now, but you are preparing that child to become an adult, to be an asset to society, to get a good job, to have a great marriage, and to have their own good kids. Well, it starts as soon as you start parenting. It starts from the moment that baby's born, and it goes until 18, 20 years old. Or in the case of college, maybe 22, but between 18 and 22, they're pretty much on their own. You're just their support. So you need to be preparing to get yourself to the next level. I always tell parents that I have a lot of them call me, what do I do? My teenager's going crazy, and all they do is yell at me. And the first thing I ask is, well, when they were 4 and they did something wrong, what did you do? What do you mean, what did I do? How did you respond? Well, I told them to stop it. Yeah, you yelled at them. You taught them to yell. So now when they're 14 and very verbal, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to handle every problem by yelling. Well, that's a lot of extras that I didn't want to get into today. I will take a break and ask you, if you enjoy these, please subscribe to this channel. I would love to connect with you on debbiejansen.com, on Facebook, and this is where you find out what's going on with everything else. Now, what is the thing that you cannot parent and you will not do well unless you can do it? Basic parenting is these three things. You must see your child's view. You must be able to see them at their level. You must feel your child's pain. Anything that they're going through, you need to be able to take your mind and actually be in their pain with them. And you must be your child. What? All right, let me explain what I mean by that. I'll just tell you how I helped someone else see what I'm talking about, and maybe that will help you. I was teaching a class, a parenting class in social services, and these were judge-ordered court cases. So these people had abused their child in some way or neglected their child, and they had to pass my class in order to be able to keep their child. Well, about 14 people filed into the class, and I gave them all notebooks, and they were all excited about what they were going to learn and how they were going to move forward with their parenting. And right before we started, a guy comes rushing in. He had come dirty, sweaty, looked like he had just walked off a construction site. He was dripping mud off his boots. He came in, he sat down in a chair, and I thought, oh boy, we're in for it now, aren't we? So I handed him a book and I said, here's your book. You can follow along. There are places where you need to take notes. There are things you need to know. And this will help you get through the class without having to write everything down. He took the book from me. He set it down beside him. Okay. So we started the class. We went through the class. He made no comments. He wouldn't join into anything. And when he got up to leave, he left the notebook. And I said, excuse me, and let's pretend his name is Sam. His name wasn't Sam, but I said, Sam, come get your notebook. I don't need it. And he walked out of the classroom. Okay. Well, I don't like to lose. I like to help people have honest, powerful lives. So I spent all week long praying. I thought about him. I looked up a few things about him on the paperwork the judge had given me. And I thought, how am I going to get through to this guy? How am I going to help him? And I thought the problem is he's not seeing his child's view. He is not being his child. He is not feeling his child's pain. So how do I help him do that? Well, when the next class started, I said, I want you to know what your child is going through, because you can't help your child unless you know what they're going through. And sometimes your child cannot talk to you, either because they don't want to, or maybe they're not capable of it. So how do you get in their minds so you can help them? And I said, all of you are here because there's been some kind of abuse or problem along the way. Maybe you're not understanding what your child is going through. So I said, I need a volunteer to help me with this. And I would like Sam to help me. Well, he was sitting like this again, dirty clothes, just like he came. And I said, Sam, come on up here and help me. You don't have to do anything except I'll position you and then we'll talk about it. No. Oh, well, Sam, you kind of look like you're a big guy and you get things done. You don't have to lift anything. You don't have to do anything except come up here. And I think you can do that. What do you think, guys? Can he do that? Well, the class is, yes, he can do that. Come on, Sam, come up here. You can do this. No. Aw, Sam is scared to come up here with poor little old me. Well, I knew I was playing with fire because these people have short tempers, apparently. But everybody was kind of in the mood to be fun, and I went with it. And they started pushing him and jeering on him. Come on, Sam, you can do this. Yeah, we want to see you do this. Come on, Sam. Finally, he didn't get mad at me or the group. He just, fine, I'll do it. Just to make you shut up, I'll do it. So I said, all I want you to do is lay down on the floor. Just lay down on the floor on your stomach, that's all. And I said, Sam, you are 3 months old, and you have been laying in this crib for an hour. You are bored to death. You are a little bit hungry. And Mom has put, and I had a squeaky toy. I said, Mom has put this toy in the bed, and you want the toy. You need something to just break this boredom. You are tired of laying here. So get the toy. Huh. So he reaches up and he grabs the toy. I said, you can't do that. You're only 3 months old. Your body has not connected in how your limbs move yet, so you can't coordinate the limb. You can look at the toy and say, I want that toy, but you do not have the ability to lift that arm and reach over and grab that toy and get it. So I put it back where it was. Sam, get the toy. So he thought for a minute, and he kind of did this and rolled over closer. I said, no, you can't do that. And I moved the toy away. I said, 3-month-old babies can't even turn over hardly yet. So you can't use your shoulders to move your body. Well, now he's kind of getting into it. He tried everything. He tried using his head. He tried scooching his body over. He tried rolling over, and I reminded him, no, you can't roll over. Finally, in frustration, because the class is now helping me, and they're saying, go, Sam, go, get the toy, get the toy, get the toy. In frustration, he screamed out, ah! And I said, that's it, Sam, you got it. You can get up. What? I said, yeah, get up, you got it. What did I get? And by this time, he's sitting up and with his legs crossed. I said, Sam, that's what children do when they aren't physically able or mentally able to handle a situation or to understand it or to do whatever they need to do, or they're being pushed farther than they can go, or they're hungry, or they're tired, or whatever is going on with them. That's what they do. Until they're about 13, they have no recourse. They have no ability to mentally think, well, if I went to my dad and said, Dad, I'm bored, I need a toy, I'm sure he would give it to me. They don't think that way. They get frustrated and they get angry and they don't know how to handle the situation, and so they scream. And he just looked at me. I said, go sit down and I'll tell you how we can fix this. So he goes and he sits down, and here's what I explained. Children from 0 to 3 years old, they take in more stimulus than they ever will in their whole life. They're learning about their fingers. They're learning about touch. They're learning about your face and what it means when you do this or when you do this or when you do this. They're learning about walls and textures and colors and how to speak and how to go to the bathroom and how not to go to the bathroom and how to take food and actually get it into their mouth. They are learning so much stuff. And from about 3 years on, your job is to teach them about the things in their life that they cannot learn on their own. So your job is to teach them about when sister hits you and hurts you, what do you do and how do you handle it? And who was really at fault? Were you at fault? Was sister at fault? When you have to go to a meeting or a church service or a school or whatever, and you have to sit still, how do you handle that? How do you get through an hour of boredom when you just want to get out of there? How do you sit still? Well, here, we'll take a piece of paper, we'll take a pen, we'll take a coloring book. We will find something to do because that's what we do in society. Your job is to, first of all, see the problem from their view. When I put Sam on the floor and told him he was a baby and what he could do and couldn't do, instantly his head went into that baby's viewpoint. When you see a toddler crawling around the room and they're always getting into something that they shouldn't get into, get down on all fours and look at the room from their view. Do they have enough toys? Here's my pet peeve. People buy kids toys and then they let them lose the parts. That is not helpful whatsoever, because as a child, you're trying to play with that and it doesn't work, or you don't have all the pieces. Or maybe you give the kid a toy, here, go play with this, and they have no idea how to play with it. They don't know what it's supposed to do. So instead of taking the dollhouse and putting the doll in it, they start hitting it with one of the toy hammers. They don't know what to do. See the problem from your child's view. Help them to understand their circumstances, and then you're going to cut out some of the crying. Or if they do start crying, then you can figure out why. Feel your child's pain. So you're in the mall and you're having a great time talking with your best friend, and you guys are sipping on lattes and you're watching the crowd go by and your kid is in the stroller. Okay, Mom, how much longer? Okay, Mom, how much longer? And finally they get antsy and they get angry and they're throwing the toy and they're fussing. There's a lot of things you need to know. Are they hungry? Did they get something to drink? Is it time to go potty? Are they just tired of sitting there? They have more energy than you do. Face it, toddlers can outrun a mom any day. Maybe they need to get up and walk around. And your best solution is to tell your friend, hey, let's keep talking, but can we take a little walk? I think little Susie here needs to exercise her legs. And get her out and just, even if it's walking around the table, just walk her. Understand your child's pain and then be your child. Get down there and try and figure out, do they need a hug? If I was my child, what would I want in this situation? And look around and be them. Maybe all they need is for you and your friend to stop for a minute and talk to them. Or point out something fun that they can watch. Or go sit in a chair by a merry-go-round. Let them ride it once and then sit there and watch it. Or if you don't have the money for it, just say, I don't have the money for it, but we're going to sit here and you can watch all the horses go by. Be your child. Understand their feelings, their needs, their environment. That's why I always tell parents, don't put anything on the floor that you don't want a 1-year-old putting in their mouth. Because that's how they discover their world, is they feel it, they touch it, they bang it, they throw it, they put it in their mouth. Get down on all fours and see what's down there. See what needs to happen. That is the basics of parenting. And when you know what's going on in their life and what needs to be addressed, then you can start working on the real issues, not the issues that are just there because they don't understand. Helping your child understand their circumstances will make for a happy, healthy child and a calmer home. I promise. This is Debbie Jansen with honest information for powerful lives. Go out there today and hug your child and be your child and understand your child. And I promise you, they'll hug you back. Check me out at debbiejansen.com and be sure and subscribe to this channel. Bye-bye.